Match is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance, helping drivers worry less on the track and on the road. 48 team of Jimmy Johnson has been getting advice from Earl Barbic, who's up on top of the spotter stand.
Yeah, so we heard the conversation earlier between Jimmy Johnson and Jack Mouse about what line he needs to run and watch the cars coming from behind. Well, that's information that Earl Barbic on top of the spotter stand is going to have to give to Jimmy Johnson. Kyle Larson behind him, actually just past the 48, run on the top. As you watch him down, going into 3 and 4, Earl has to give this information if more cars are coming up top. You see the 42 now right against the wall, but the 48 continues to run down the racetrack, John.
And Steve, I just want to add here, I spoke with Jack Canals here earlier this morning about that particular line on the racetrack. He said, we need to maybe run up at the top. We didn't practice there. We practiced down at the bottom throughout the course of the weekend.
I found that interesting. A lot of people, I noticed that Kyle Busch, he made almost every lap in practice right on the bottom of the racetrack. And I thought that was an interesting strategy, not to try to run the top of the racetrack, but we'll see as this race develops if they needed to. Sometimes it's just easier to go to the top. You can make a car work on the bottom, then when you move to the top, it seems to drive better. So maybe they just tried to put their car in the worst situation in practice to ultimately get the best handling car.
We know where the Chase drivers are running. Let's get an update on a few of the non-chasers. We'll start with Kelly.
Rick, we know that 24-year-old Kyle Larson loves to run that highline, but I talked to his crew chief, Chad Johnson, and asked him if this track really plays into their hands that they should be really fast here. He said, yeah, I think we'll be fast so long as we're running next to the wall and not getting into it. As far as going for the race win here, he said, look, we don't want to do anything to interfere with the championship war, but we are going to race these guys as hard as we do each and every week, and you saw right there, he didn't hesitate to make that move on Jimmy Johnson in the 48. Mike?
Kelly, Austin Dillon and the 3 team taking a very similar philosophy, wanting to end this season very much on a high note. Having conversations with Dillon's crew chief, Slugger Labby, throughout the course of the season, you got a good understanding how there had been frustrations throughout the course of the year, but still optimism that they could score a victory before the season concludes. This was a race they targeted. They tested here just after the Kansas race, and they practiced that high line then. They practiced the high line yesterday. They want to be able to make that work, as you can see right now. They've been pretty fast, although just a little bit loose on takeoff on that last run, David.
Mike, at this point, 20-year-old Chase Elliott runs in the 10th position and cannot make that high line work. He's been going to the bottom recently just because he said the car will not handle up in the extreme high line. Talked to his crew chief, Alan Gustafson, this morning about his rookie season. And while they didn't get the win, Alan said they were pretty happy with a few things they did this year. Remember, they didn't want to define their season by winning. After all, he was replacing Jeff Gordon, the 4-time champion. But it's been a good year for Chase. Marty?
Dave, this is not Michael McDowell.
Who's winning?
Ty Dillon this weekend, running in the 17th position right now. He's a young guy behind the wheel, but he has a veteran on the pit box in Matt Borland this weekend. Been struggling with a race car that's just a little bit tight as he's made his way into the field from 32nd to 17th. When I asked Ty earlier this week, hey, we're going to see you full-time in Sprint Cup next year, he said, we'll see. Maybe an announcement coming soon. It's a little bit of a teaser, Rick. I can see this young man full-time here next year.
Brother Austin, as we see the 42 running right up against the wall.
It ain't simple, Rick. Not only is the 42 reasonably fast car, and Kyle Larson very good at the top, but the top he's just faster, much faster than what Kyle Busch in this 18 is deciding to run. You see Kyle Larson is basically taking all the risks right against the wall, the quarter panel, inches off the safer barrier.
There'll come a time that everyone will have to make this decision. And you see a guy like Kyle Larson, he just passed Kyle Busch, and he just passed Jimmy Johnson and drove away from Jimmy Johnson. So at some point, you're going to have to get up there. That's where the speed's going to be. He's running down Kevin Harvick. He's not a little faster than even Carl Edwards, who's leading the race. He's a lot faster. Carl Edwards ran a 34.10 running the race, leading the race. Kyle Larson ran a 33.70. Also half a second faster running the top of the race.
You mentioned when he went by the 48 of Jimmy Johnson. We've seen 48 of Jimmy Johnson have his hands full, especially recently. Seems as though that car might be a handful for him as Kyle Larson continues to run right up against the wall. Would that be a determining factor at the 48. Goes up there if he's got an ill-handling race car.
Well, I think that this track, you know, we're 21 laps on this set of Goodyear tires. This track is really hard on tires. They lose grip very quickly. And this 48 Jimmy Johnson, he does not like a tight race car. He likes that car to rotate, especially on the throttle. But a few laps back, we were riding on board with the 48. And see right here, this correction he has to make. He's trying to pick up the throttle and look at the correction of the wheel back to the right. Oh, wow.
That is loose.
And now the sun's coming into play, too. We saw that. The sun will be in their eyes as they come out of turn number 4 and head down the front stretch.
Remember what his crew chief Jack and Alf told you? Hey, if you're going to run the bottom, run the bottom. Don't run the middle. It seems like when we run the middle, we're not as good. That was the instructions prior to this long run. So look where he's gone back to. He was on the middle, in the middle of the racetrack. The car was exceptionally loose. Now he's turned the car, got the left side on that white line, trying to find more grip.
Here it is. First forward. How high does Joe Logano dare run? Not as high as Kyle Larson. He could easily drive around him on the outside.
How about that? He took away the second spot easily. And Kyle Larson continuing to march toward the front. Joe Logano now has dropped back to third. Kevin Harvick looking at the bottom of the racetrack and trying to take that spot. Kevin still out front.